Hi, this is Belinda Calibriali and this is Talking High Performance with Belle. So I'm making this podcast for people who want to live their best life, people who know that there's more in them, but they just don't know how to get it. So there's a gap, something's missing, I'm making it for them. Welcome back to another episode of Talking High Performance with Belle, and I'm really excited to have you here for our milestone 50th episode. And today is a new month dedicated to mindful performance, meaning how do we set our lives up with clarity and with calm and feel like we're in control of the way we're going about our days and our weeks and our months. So we're going to start today's episode talking all about that, how to go from chaos to calm and how to really begin to master mindful performance. Because quite often things can get overwhelming and we can find ourselves really struggling to find control of things that should feel basic to us, things that we feel like, oh, I should be on top of this, but it's just really hard in knowing how to do that. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 powerful strategies to help you shift from feeling out of control to back in control. And the first strategy that I want to chat to you about today is about embracing mindful moments. So what does that mean? In the midst of, life's hustles and in the midst of busy patches and the chaos, intentional pauses can be really transformative, and really being mindful that this is what we're doing in that moment to move us forward is really important. So taking a breath and revisiting your values in moments of stillness can be really, really powerful and can really help to keep you grounded and help you to realign your tasks. So if I think about myself, this could be as simple as sitting outside and having a coffee when I feel like things are starting to get a bit too much with work, or it could be going to my room for a few minutes when I feel like I'm losing my temper with the kids, whatever it is for you, but being really mindful and embracing those moments of, it's really interesting that I feel this way, or I can feel my temper starting to rise, or I can feel that I'm starting to feel really chaotic. What can I do in those moments to help me? And again, it's not about being perfect. It's just about recognizing and doing it a little bit better than the time before. And what we're always looking for is progress over perfection. Living a high performance life doesn't mean being amazing 24/7. It means just continuing to grow and maintain and sustain a life that we're passionate about, both personally and professionally. So embracing mindful moments is a really powerful way to help you begin that journey of going from chaotic to calm. The second point is about prioritizing with purpose. So chaos often arises because we're scattered and we don't know what to focus on next, and there's too much on our plate, and we really struggle to say no to things that don't serve. So high performers are really purposeful in how they prioritize. They've got a goal that they want to reach, and they're working on the steps to help them get to that goal. And this could be professionally, what you need to achieve at work, but this is also personally as well. And a really good way to do this is to begin by delegating or eliminating tasks that don't align with your values and your long-term vision. So free your time up by going, is this actually aligned? Do I want to be doing this? And take some things off that way or delegate them to somebody else. And this even comes down to social events. So, clients are always saying to me they have a lot on when it comes to their social lives, and they wish they weren't going to A, B, and C. But they said yes because they felt like they had to, or they felt bad. And now it feels like they're doing those things to the detriment of themselves. Now, sometimes, especially when it comes to work, we may feel like we have to go to something, and we might. But a lot of the other times, we're in control of what we say yes to and what we say no to. So I'd encourage you to have a think about, where do you want to be? And really go, are the decisions I'm making helping me to get to that point? Or am I just adding things to my list and to my days and to my weeks that really don't need to be added? So, I saw a quote a few months back, and it said, work out what you're spending your time on, then work out what your priorities are and readjust, because quite often we spend our time on things that aren't our priorities. So if we can work out, A, what are our priorities? B, what are we spending our time on? And see where the imbalances are and focus on that so that you're living a life that feels purposeful to you. So that's point 2, prioritizing with purpose. Point number 3 is breaking down complex tasks. So a really good way to go from feeling chaotic to calm again is by breaking down your tasks. So this means looking at what you've got on, looking at what the task is, and it might feel really daunting and it might feel really overwhelming, but going, okay, this is what I want to do, and these are the steps that I want to get done by this particular date to get that done. So I'm working with a client at the moment and she's completing another certification, and her job is already really, really busy. She's working long hours, and that's just the demands of her particular role. But this certification is really important to her. So it's about working out realistically what can she achieve in a certain time frame and really breaking it down so that the 12-month task feels really manageable when she breaks it down into the months and into the steps. And it doesn't feel as chaotic as what it did before, when we just go, okay, this is step 1, this is the steps under that. This is step 2, these are the points under that, and just working it out that way. So breaking down complex tasks often helps us to go from chaos to calm. Another really important point is to create a Zen workplace. So our physical environment influences our mindset. So if our physical environment is cluttered, quite often our mindset's cluttered. If our physical environment feels really beige and boring, quite often it's hard to come up with creative ideas. So create a workspace that feels inspiring for you and that's organized in a way that gets you working really productively. So sometimes this could be as simple as a few quotes or pictures on the wall. It could be reminders. It could be a little vision board. Whatever it is for you, create a workplace that inspires you and that's authentic to how you want to live, so that you're looking at it and always focused on, this is the goal that I want for the future, this is where I'm heading, and this is how I want to feel in the environment that I'm in. So creating a Zen workplace is really, really important. The 5th point I want to talk to you about is about scheduling mindful breaks. So breaks are super important in allowing us to move forward and allowing us to feel calm. So when I was in my early years of business, I didn't necessarily believe in breaks that much, whereas now it's a priority. In fact, I've got my year planned out and I've got the breaks that I want to have within that year. Whether we go away or whether we don't, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But I know that on these certain days or within these certain timeframes, I won't be doing coaching calls, or I'll just be, completely resetting and recharging, whatever it looks like at that particular time. But scheduling breaks and being really mindful of what you will allow in and out during that time is super important to help you feel calm, to help you feel recentered, and also to realign your priorities. And when we talk about taking breaks, even thinking about where can I go or what can I do, that is calming for me. That will help me move forward. That will help me get really creative again. That will help me feel inspired. What can I do that I really enjoy and bring that passion back into our lives? So that's point number 5, scheduling mindful breaks. And the last point I want to bring up with you today is all around reflecting and reframing. So when the chaos feels like it's building up, taking a step back to reflect and reframe your perspective is really important. And a lot of the time we feel chaotic, but it's not even to do with things that we're really passionate about or things that we need to be focusing on. It could be things that are irrelevant, things that don't really matter. But in that moment, it feels really, really intense. Whereas if we were to look back 1 week, 1 month, 1 year from now, we go, that actually didn't really matter. So sometimes it could be that our calendars are just too full and we feel chaos. Sometimes it could be that a few tweaks can make a really big difference to how we live our days, our weeks, and our months. And sometimes we've got a lot on when we don't need to, and we need to work out ways to prioritize what is important, who do I want to see, what do I want to be focusing on, and then working backwards from there. So sometimes it's all about zooming out. What's the big picture? What does it look like from an outside perspective? And then we zoom back in and go, okay, how do I make those tweaks now that are necessary to move me forward? And if you can't do it for yourself, think about, what would I tell a family member? What would I tell a friend that was struggling with this exact same issue? Because quite often it's easier to go, okay, I'd tell them A, B, and C versus telling ourselves. So finding ways to reframe and reflect is really, really important. So as we come to the end of today's episode, I'd love you to think about how you can reduce the chaos in your own life and move forward with more calm than ever before. And the 6 ways that I spoke about today, just starting points to help you do that. So embracing the mindful moments, prioritizing with purpose as opposed to saying yes to everything, breaking down tasks into things that will actually move you forward, creating a workspace that reflects how you want to feel and that feels calming, scheduling breaks in your calendar to give you that time to rest and recharge, and also to reflect and reframe and think, is this what I want to be doing? What could I be doing differently? So they're all really important strategies to help you go on your journey from chaos to calm. Remember, life's demands can sometimes feel overwhelming, but it's by implementing these mindful performance strategies that we can really gain control and cultivate purpose and clarity. And in our next episode next week, we're going to be talking about how to use mindfulness to help us make decisions with ease. So until then, live a successful, purposeful, and fully charged life. Your coach, Belle.